Well, I mean, what is it that happened?
Well, I mean, it's complicated about that. I mean, the first thing that happened is I saw what I thought was an owl. And that's a bad sign if you know anything about this kind of if you know anything about this kind of thing. It's bad if you see an owl in the place where there's not supposed to be an owl. You don't want to see that. Um, so I saw that and I knew that there was a problem.
But why is it bad to see an owl? What's wrong with owls?
Well, I mean, the thing about owls. See, you don't understand. I mean, you don't know what a screen memory is? I mean, I guess you don't. I mean, I better just say what ends up happening is when aliens come, when grays come, they they don't come looking like themselves. They come looking like something else because they don't want to scare you, especially the first time they come. And I mean, people who are educated know this already. I mean, this is part of abduction literature. We know this. They disguise themselves, and they frequently disguise themselves as owls, as deer, this kind of thing. Um, but you can tell that it's not real if you look closely, if you know what to look for, if you look at the eyes of the thing. It has the eyes of a gray. It doesn't have the eyes of an owl. And I looked at this owl and it didn't have owl eyes. So I knew it was a problem. So, I mean, I tried to stand up, but I found that I couldn't move. I couldn't move at all. I couldn't move anything. Um, I was like totally stiff. The only thing I had control of was my thoughts and my eyes. And I mean, that was a problem. I mean, I started to get nervous. I mean, I don't like to be out of control of my person. I don't like to have anybody else controlling that, or I don't like to be out of I don't like to not be able to control myself. It's not a pleasant feeling for me. So and I knew that that was a problem.
So, I mean, then what happened? I mean, what happened with the owl?
Well, I mean, soon enough. I mean, the thing is, they can only fuck with your head so much, and I knew that it wasn't an owl, and eventually I saw that it was a gray alien standing there. I could see that that's what it was. Eventually, it's almost like an illusion. Um, I could see that it was there. Um, I mean, but I couldn't see it. Like it was an owl, and then I could see that it was a gray, and it was like in and out, and then eventually it was a gray standing there, and it started to talk to me in the normal way.
What's the normal way? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, grays don't talk. They don't say anything. Um, but they talk to you telepathically. They talk to you with their minds. You can hear what they're thinking and they can hear what you're thinking. So you don't even need to say anything. So that's what I mean. And it said all the standard shit that everybody says they say. It said it exactly You know, when I started to think questions, it started to answer them in exactly the same way that you expect. This is why I said it was like classic abduction scenario. Um, because it's almost like a cliche. It said, "Don't be afraid," which is what they say to every motherfucker that they come and pick the fuck up. Um, then I said, "Well, what are you here for?" And it said, "Well, we just wanna look at you a little bit, and talk to you a little bit." And I said, "Well, where are you from?" And they said, "Well, you wouldn't understand." I mean, all these things are standard procedure. Um, except that middle question. I said, "What do you want?" And it said, "Well, we just want to look at you and talk to you a little bit." That's a little bit weird. They don't normally say that. I mean, normally they have a spiel about how, they want to take samples or whatever, and, they didn't say that this time. They just said they wanted to talk to me. Um, so, I mean, dude just walked over to me and he just laid his hand on me, and suddenly I was floating. And, that was a problem for me again. Um, I'm not a big fan of fucking floating. I'm not trying to do that. So, but anyway, I was floating. I was in a laying down position and I was floating. And this motherfucker walked backwards and took me out from under the bridge. And right up above the bridge, there was a flying saucer.